beforehand.
No worries, good morning.
Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry for being a few minutes late. But let's get right to it. If you guys, today we're just gonna have a chair and a band if you have that. And if you don't, no problem, don't worry about it. We will work around it. But to start, we are gonna do our breathing. So we're gonna be on our backs. Your feet can either be flat on the ground or up in the air at 90 degrees, whatever you prefer. Don't forget to get that pelvic tilt. The key is to have your back up flat on the ground. Arms are gonna be up in the air. We're gonna do 6 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Think about not breathing through your stomach, but through your ribs, and really trying to expand the back of your rib cage into the mat. So here we go. In through your nose, in. And out. When you breathe out, you may feel your low core turn on. Really think about trying to keep that on when you breathe in again. Breathe in. And out. Really push all that breath out. Pause for 2 seconds and breathe in again. And out. Two more. Breathe in. Last one. Breathe in. Nice work. Okay, if you have a chair, we're going to use that. And if you don't have a chair, I'll quickly explain what we're going to do. If you don't have a chair, we're just going to do a straight hold. So this is a glute bridge. So you're going to be using your glutes and your hamstrings to raise up. The key is to have that pelvic tilt. You don't want to be arching your back, okay? So that may only mean that you can come a little ways off the ground. That's fine. Only come up as much as your glute and hamstrings will allow. You want that, keep that good pelvic tilt. If you are using a chair, you're gonna have your heels on the chair, and we're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna feel a little bit more hamstring here with the using the chair, and we're gonna hold here for 45 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1, up. Really think about trying to have your arms up in the air so you're not using your elbows to prop yourself up. You really want to have that pelvic tilt. So if you notice that your back starts arching a little bit or your butt starts falling closer to the ground, really think about squeezing that glute and getting good pelvic tilt. Think about getting nice even pressure on both of your feet. Using that breathing exercise that we were just doing, trying to expand your rib cage. Just 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. We're gonna do a couple rounds of that, but we're gonna go straight into dead bugs, and we're gonna use the band. So you're gonna put, if you don't have a band, no problem. You're gonna put your opposite arm and opposite knee together, and we're just gonna do repetitions. If you do have a band, you're gonna put those around your toes. You're gonna draw one knee into you. Arms go overhead, pause for 2 seconds, return to neutral, and do the other side. And we're gonna do 5 each side, 10 total. If you don't have a band, you wanna do 10 each side because you're gonna go a little bit faster. And this exercise, again, that pelvic tilt is really, really important. It's how you're going to engage your lower core. So if you find that your low back is coming off the ground, or you're not engaging that low core, really think about getting that good pelvic tilt. And engaging that low core. Really think about reaching overhead too. Really extending those arms overhead. It's going to help get some good oblique engagement. Also think about extending the leg that's extended, really extending it forward. Also driving the knee up. Lots of things to think about. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna go back to the glute bridge, back with the chair. This time we're gonna do repetitions. So if you don't have a chair, no problem. Feet are just flat on the ground. And we're gonna do 15 repetitions. If you do have a chair, same thing, just with your heels up on the chair, arms up in the air, 15 reps. Really think it's really easy to arch your back when you're doing these repeats. So really think about not getting any back arch. You're really gonna feel this in your hamstrings, particularly if your feet are up on the chair. I like to think about almost like rolling one vertebrae at a time coming up. Sort of starting with my sacrum and then coming up. Really helps with activating those glutes. You guys look really good doing these. Nice work. Once you're done with 15, we're gonna go back to the dead bugs. If you don't have a band, you can just follow along putting your elbow to your opposite knee, and we're gonna be doing holds this time. So rather than repetitions, we're going to be holding for 15 seconds. And then I'll tell you when to switch. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Extend out. Really get that low core engaged. Extend those arms overhead. And switch. And switch. And switch. This is the last one. Nice job. All right, we're gonna do just one quick mobility exercise and then we'll move into the main set. We're gonna do some open books. So if you remember, you're gonna lie on your side, your knees are gonna be at 90 degrees. The key is when you do this exercise is to not let your pelvis slide back, right? The idea is to be rotating through your upper body. So you want your pelvis to remain stacked, which means that your knees want to stay right on top of one another. And all you're going to do is open up, pause for a second, and then come back. And just do 5 each side. Just go nice and slow. You might get a few back adjustments. You might feel a stretch in your pecs. You might feel a stretch in your biceps. You might feel a stretch in your ribs. You might feel a stretch in your upper back. After you've done 5, switch sides. Again, really pay attention to keeping those hips stacked. Really think about rotating through your upper thoracic area. So the thoracic stretch. You may even feel a bit of a stretch through your core and your obliques. Nice job. All right, we are going into bear position, which means in this first round, we're just gonna do a bear hold, and we're gonna hold for 30 seconds. So if you remember, your toes are gonna be curled under, you're gonna be on all fours. You don't wanna be arching your back like this, but you want your scapula to be extended, right? So that you can see there's a difference between doing this and extending your scapula, and you want your pelvis to be tucked, okay? That pelvic tuck that we've been talking about, okay? So you generally want a pretty neutral spine. You don't want it arched like so, but again, your scapula is extended, you have a nice pelvic tilt. And let me just get my timer up, and we're gonna be just coming up and holding there for 30 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and up. Just lift about an inch off the ground. You just want to be barely, barely, barely off the ground. Really thinking about that pelvic tilt. Really engaging that low core. Ten more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and down. All right, we're going to go into side plank. This round, we're going to do a split stance side plank. So on your elbow, top leg in front of the other. We're going to do 1 minute hold. If you need to come down and take a break, no problem. That's totally fine. Just come down, pause for a couple seconds, and then go back up. Okay? Starting in 3, 2, 1, and up. Really think about driving those hips forward. You want your shoulder, your hips, and your ankles to be in alignment. You can have your hand on your hip. You can have your hand up in the air, whatever you want. But if you find yourself starting to pike or roll forward like this, it's because you're not driving your hips forward enough. And really think about squeezing that bottom glute, trying to get your hips off the ground as much as you can. You guys are doing great. You're halfway there. "15 seconds left. Squeeze that bottom glute. Really feel those bottom obliques. 3, 2, 1. Let's switch sides. And up. So if you find yourself starting to lean forward, drive the hips forward. If you find your hips starting to sag, squeeze that bottom glute a little bit more to get yourself off the ground. You're halfway there, got another 30 seconds to go. Nice job. Everybody looks really good. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna do flutter kicks. So it's a little bit of a variation on hollow rock. You're gonna be on your back. And we're gonna do flutter kicks for 30 seconds. So your arms are gonna be extended overhead. Really think about getting that pelvic tilt. So you want your low back on the ground. So if you have to have your feet up higher, that's fine. The closer to the ground that you can get, the better. I'm gonna be a little bit up higher just because of my stomach and the baby, but we're gonna do this for 30 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go, flutter kicks. Nice job, 20 seconds left. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. So we're gonna do a hip flexor stretch. So I'm gonna show you from the front so you guys can see it. It's just gonna be a hold. So you're gonna bring your leg forward, you're gonna be on all fours. Your hand is gonna be inside your foot, and you're gonna push a little bit out with your arm, just push your knee out a little bit while also getting that hip flexor stretch, okay? So you're gonna actually feel, some of you may feel a little bit of an adductor stretch as well. I'll just actually stay in this position. The more you press out, the more you're gonna feel that stretch on the adductor. And really just go into it as much as you feel comfortable. Let's switch sides. So we're gonna go, we have another 15 seconds here, but we're gonna go back into the bear position after this. And this time we're gonna hold for a minute. But what we're gonna do is, for the first 30 seconds, we're just gonna do hand lifts. And the second 30 seconds, we're gonna do leg lifts. So you'll just have to follow my cue. All right, let's get back into the bear position. And I'll just quickly demonstrate before we begin. Okay, so you're gonna lift your knees just slightly off the ground, okay? The first part, all we're gonna be doing is lifting your hands. Not fast, just nice and slow. And then the second 30 seconds, we're gonna be doing leg lifts, okay? So we will start in 3, 2, 1, come up. Always keeping that hip really stable. Keeping those the knees just an inch off the ground. The more you engage your mid-core and your low core, the more stable your hips are gonna be. Go nice and slow. All right, let's start lifting those legs. Nice work. 10 seconds left here. Really engage that low core. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna go back into a side plank. This time we're gonna have our feet stacked, and I'd like you to do anywhere from 5 to 10 leg lifts. We're just gonna hold for 45 seconds each side. So you can incorporate the leg lifts into the hold, but your feet are gonna be stacked. If you feel more comfortable being on your knees, you can just do clamshells if that is more comfortable for you. But if you're gonna be up, we're gonna have legs stacked. Again, we're just gonna hold 45 seconds each side. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and up. Remember to drive those hips forward. Don't have a lot of movement in your hips if you're doing the leg lifts. You guys are doing really good work. 15 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. Come down and let's switch sides. And we are up. Nice job. Everybody looks really good. Ten more seconds here. Drive those hips forward. Squeeze that bottom glute. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna go just into a hollow rock position. No flutter kicks this time. So as a reminder, you're on your back totally flat. So that means you're low back too. So the one thing that people always happens with this hollow rock is your back starts to arch and come up. You have to keep that low core really engaged. You're just gonna be extended out. And we're gonna hold here for 30 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Really extend yourself out, really engage that low core, get that back flat on the ground. Make sure that you're breathing, try to breathe as normally as possible. Five seconds left, you guys look really good. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna do an adductor stretch, and then we're gonna go into our last series of core exercises. So we're just gonna be on our knees. We're gonna be extended out on one side, rocking back and forth. If you want, you can put your heel up. Gets a little bit more of your hamstring. Jody, is that your cat? It's cute. All right, let's switch sides. All right. Nice work. Okay, first thing we're going to do is the iso, split stance iso hold. So we're going to be up on our legs, feet. We're going to be down like this. If you can raise your heel off the ground, that's ideal because it gives you a little bit of imbalance. And we're just going to be holding here for 1 minute. Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So a really good exercise. So a couple things. One is really think about trying to have your hips be square. The second thing is make sure that you have a good, you want to feel weight on your big toe. So make sure that you're kind of balanced amongst your foot in terms of your weight. The third thing is really think about activating that glute, okay? So if you're starting to feel pressure in your quad, it means that you're not activating your glute enough. So just squeeze that glute and you'll notice it. Pressure gets taken off of your quad almost immediately. You guys have 20 seconds left. You're doing really well. Try to go down a little bit further if you can. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and up. Shake it out. Let's switch sides. 3, 2, 1, and we are into it. Really squeeze that glute. Guys are doing great, halfway there. You definitely might feel a stretch in your hip flexor, which is a nice little side benefit of this exercise. Again, you feel like your quad is really burning, really think about squeezing that glute. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and up. Okay, we're gonna stay standing up. You can grab your band again if you have it, and if you don't have it, that's okay. We're gonna do toe taps. So put the band pretty much like right at your ankle. You don't really want it high up on your shin. The lower on your ankle, the better. You're gonna take a firm stance, have pressure on one side. You don't want your knee to be collapsing in. You don't want your legs to be moving. So the one thing that you want to make sure you're doing is have a strong stance with your foot, nice glute activation, have that knee pressing out so you have nice alignment of your ankle, and you're just going to be reaching out, touching with your toes. We're going to do 15 each side. Really think about keeping those hips stable. You guys look really good. Make sure every time you're feeling that glute activate because it's going to keep that hip stability. Once you've done 15, you switch sides. Anthony, try not to put your foot down. Like really think about just touching with your toe and releasing. So you're really just balancing on one leg almost. You don't really want to be putting any weight on that leg that's moving. It's just sort of like a touch and go. You're pausing too much at the end, Anthony. So just touch and go. There you go. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna go back into the iso hold. Get one more quick round. This time we're just gonna hold for 30 seconds. Get my timer up. Starting 3, 2, 1, we're on. It shouldn't seem as bad because it's half the amount of time. So everybody can get a little bit lower than they did before. Really activate that glute. If you can, raise that heel up. 3, 2, 1. Let's switch sides pretty quickly. Get right into it. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Try to go a little lower if you can. I'm only here for 30 seconds. Ten more seconds here. Three, 2, 1. Nice work. If you guys have time, let's do one more round of toe taps and then we are done. Same thing, just 15 each side. Really just touch and go. So some of you guys are kind of coming out, pausing, and then coming back in. You really just want to keep the movement going. Think about having a really strong stance, activating that glute. Really squeeze that glute. Once you've done 15, switch sides, squeeze that glute. Nice work, everybody. All right, another Monday done. So great to see everybody. Nice work, Scott. Job, Dominic. Job, Anthony. Job, Jody. Thank you guys for joining. And next week we'll have a Halloween, or not Halloween, Thanksgiving special. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Talk to you later.